Hi, welcome to Behind the Cover. Today I'd like to introduce you to some of the characters in Wherever You Go. Let's start with Amy and Matt Bennett. Amy and Matt are the key characters in this book. The whole story sort of focuses on what happens to them and what's going to happen with their marriage. Because the marriage, as you find out very quickly, is not in a good way. They've been through something terrible together, and it's left them in a place where they're unable to connect with each other. But Amy particularly is really unable to connect with anyone or anything. So she's in a dark place when the book opens. Amy's a chef. She loves food. She used to love having dinner parties for people. But of course, when the book starts, that's not where she is. She's lost that passion for food, lost that passion for pretty much everything. Matt is an engineer. He's a really strong sort of giving character who supports Amy. He's like her rock, but he's coming to this point where he's thinking, no, what about me? Next you'll meet Irene, who lives next door to Amy and Matt. Irene is nearly 70 years old. She dreams of travelling overseas, but she's always had to put this dream for herself on hold because she had a troubled relationship with her daughter. Then she raised her granddaughter, and now she has her granddaughter and her great-granddaughter living with her. And of course, as stories go, the thing that she wants the most is going to have to be put on hold because she's asked to do something that really makes life and the idea of travelling overseas a lot more difficult. Now that leads to a couple more characters who are Bonnie and Ashley, who I've mentioned are Irene's granddaughter and great-granddaughter. Bonnie's in her 20s, she's a bit of a free spirit, and her daughter Ashley is 4 years old, and she's also a bit free-spirited and a really big chatterbox. Ashley takes a bit of a liking to Amy, as you'll find out, and there's a really lovely relationship that develops there. I think Ashley's one of my favourite characters in the book. She's a real sweetie. You'll also meet Frank, who's a tradie who loves to have a bit of a chat, and you'll meet June, who works in the bakery, who has some great stories about travelling over to Paris. And then you'll meet Una and you'll meet Sharon, who is a mother and daughter who've got beady eyes and a sharp instinct for gossip, and they sort of rub people the wrong way, especially Amy. And Una takes a bit of a interest in Amy. She's very curious about where this couple is, convinced that she's seen them before, and her mission is to find out who the Bennetts really are. So that's a little bit of an insight to some of the characters you'll meet. There are more. There's a couple of surprise characters in there, and I really hope that you enjoy meeting them when you read Wherever You Go.